In this video, we're going to talk about something that's very important, and that's Chiefs versus Raiders on Monday Night Football. We're going to look at an injury report, give some key statistics from the teams since Mahomes has been at the helm, a score prediction, keys to victory, and much freaking more. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, and I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs, so make sure to sub if you're new, hit that like button, all that good freaking stuff, and let's get into this video.
Here we go! Nom, 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 oh, nom, 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 nom.
We all know what's going on. You're going to see this Sunday because I'm recording this very late Saturday night. So tomorrow, on Monday, Raiders, Chiefs, Monday Night Football. Statistically speaking, the Raiders have really struggled against the Chiefs. Specifically, Derek Carr has really struggled against Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is 7-1. Against the Raiders, they split 2 years ago, one each. Then the dumpster fire happened last season with John Gruden getting let go. The Chiefs beat the brakes on them both games. Easy, light work. I was at one of those games. It was an absolute freaking blast. So the Chiefs have had the Raiders number. It's a very important game. The Raiders, they're 1-3, but they're a good 1-3 team, if you can say that. The Broncos are what, 2-3? And they're absolutely horrible. The Colts are 2-3, and they're absolutely horrible. The Raiders are better than both of those teams, so they're also coming off of that win, that one lone win, and this is a very important game to them. If they lose this game, they are 1-4, I believe, going into their bye week, and it wouldn't be good. Their playoff chances would basically be non-existent from a statistics standpoint, so the Raiders are going to do all that they can to win this game. This is basically a borderline playoff game for the Raiders, so we cannot underestimate them, even though we know Derek Carr is Patrick Mahomes' biological son. We say that all the time on this channel, but when you see my prediction, I think it's going to potentially be a closer game than we would like it to be, maybe a little too close for comfort, we should say, but I still think the Chiefs are going to edge out the W. But before we get into all that, let's look at the injury report that came out today. This is the final injury report. Harrison Butker, surprise, surprise, is out, still dealing with that ankle sprain that he sustained in week 1, still has swelling from his ankle down to his toes, I believe, and he's still having some pain there too. So Matthew, never wrong but right, the former Jaguars kicker, Jaguar, however you say that stupid team's name that are actually not trash cans this season, doing pretty good. He's here, and he did very well last week, made all 5 PATs, made both field goals, so feel a little bit more comfortable with Matthew right in there than Matt Amendola, who has been picked up by the Arizona Cardinals, by the way. I digress about that, but Harrison Butker out. Trey Smith is going to be questionable. He sustained some sort of a pectoral issue in the game last week and was limited all week. Now, Andy Reid in his presser today, he just said he's questionable, and that'll probably, I believe he said it's going to be a game time decision. I would expect Trey plays, but you never really know. If Trey Smith doesn't play, it's probably going to be Nick Allegretti in there, the team's Swiss Army knife, so he should step up and do just fine. Trey Smith, even before this pectoral injury, had an ankle tweak of some sort, I believe, maybe week 2 against the Chargers or even week 1 against the Cardinals. Can't remember which week, but he actually hasn't been playing at a full 100% in every game. So a healthy Nick Allegretti might potentially be more productive than an injured Trey Smith. So we'll have to wait and see, but we'll find out Monday. L'Jarius Sneed, he tweaked his ankle during the game against the Bucs, but he was a full participant all week during practice, so he should be good to go. Mike Dana was a full participant all week, and Andy Reid thinks he should be good to go, even though he's still listed as questionable. I would expect to see Mike Dana out there. McCole Hardman, full participant with that heel. I think he's fine. Sky Moore was a full participant all week. JuJu Smith-Schuster, this happened today at practice. Andy Reid said, I think in the second half of practice, his hamstring locked up, and yeah, he sat out the end of practice. So that's not good. You know, he said it should be fine. Coach Reid did say in his presser he expects JuJu Smith-Schuster to play, but a quad or hamstring injury for a wide receiver this close to a game, maybe it was as simple as a Charlie horse. Maybe he needed some electrolytes, but I'm not 100% sure. And if that's the case, that's a bit of a bummer. But you would then see more Sky Moore. You would see more Justin Watson, and some of those other guys would have to step up. If you have a healthy McCall Hardman and that heel is indeed fine, then I'm fine with that. You know, if JuJu needs to sit, I would prefer he doesn't. The Raiders' weakness, their linebacker unit, not the greatest bunch, and they're dealing with some injuries as well. So I would have liked to see JuJu in there with Kelsey Eaton in the middle, but if he has to sit, he has to sit. McCall Hardman's going to have to step up. He needs to go all the way off. Definitely hasn't been living up to expectations so far this season. But again, he's been injured with that heel injury since week 2. So hopefully he's 100% and will be able to connect with Patrick Mahomes. They've missed some deep connections over the past couple of weeks. So hopefully they can connect. I would like to see that a lot. And MVS, abdomen, full participant all week, had the abdomen injury last week and still played, and he looked fine. He actually made that crazy catch up in the air where he spun around, and I think he's fine. Now, as far as the Raiders go, they have Jaylen Brown. That's their linebacker. He's been ruled out. They had an offensive tackle I think they just traded for from the Patriots not very long ago, a week or 2 weeks ago. He was slowly working in to the rotation as the potential right tackle for the team. They've been working in 3 different guys, and he was one of the 3, and he tore his ACL yesterday or 2 days ago at practice. I think it was Friday. He was placed on IR, so bummer. He's out for the season. They just traded for him. Foster Moreau, tight end, he's questionable. He was limited in practice Saturday, but didn't participate any time prior than that. So we'll have to see. That's probably going to be a game time decision. A noticeable return for the Raiders is Hunter Renfrow, one of their key wide receivers. He missed the previous 2 weeks due to a concussion, but he is back and fully expected to play. Sam Webb, their cornerback, is the only other guy listed as questionable here on this injury report. So that's it for the Chiefs and the Raiders with their injuries.
That is one big pile of shit.
All right, let's talk about some Chiefs-Raiders stats. The Raiders, 1-3, have lost all of their games, I believe, though, by 1 score. So they've been close games. I heard a recent Raiders channel say they are the best 1-3 team in the NFL. For what that is worth, they are second to last in the NFL with 5 total sacks as a defense, as a team, and Max Crosby has 4 of those sacks. So one of the keys to victory is just keep an eye on Max Crosby because that man is elite. So just Mahomes and company, keep an eye on where he is. Maybe run the ball away from him, or Patrick just needs to be aware of where he is at all times. He's probably going to be going against right tackle Andrew Wiley. Fun fact, Andrew Wiley and Max Crosby, they went to school together. So in the past, Wiley has actually done pretty well against Crosby because they've played a lot together. And so they kind of know each other's strengths and weaknesses. For what that's worth, Andrew Wiley, play lights out against that man. Now, red zone is another weakness for the Raiders. They have 8 TDs on 18 red zone possessions, and that is the 4th worst in the league. So something that the Chiefs can do on defense that's a nice key to victory is going to be to limit the Raiders' red zone TDs. They've already been struggling with it, but just don't let them capitalize on something they've already been struggling with, which is their red zone trips. And I think that's going to be very good and very helpful. Something else to watch for, Derek Carr, last week against the Broncos, he actually had several strategic scrambles. He ran 7 times for 40 yards. His longest was 20, but he averaged 5.7 yards per carry. Several of those were for first downs. So that's something that the Chiefs need to keep an eye on, Derek Carr and his scrambles. And speaking of the run game, the Chiefs have been very good against the run. I think they are the first or second best rushing defense as far as yards allowed per carry. I believe it's like something stupid low, like 2.3 yards per carry. It's very good. Well, Josh Jacobs, Jingleheimer Schmidt, the Raiders running back, had a very good game last week. I think it was a career high for him. 28 carries, 144 yards, 2 TDs. That's a 5.1 1 yard per rush average, but he did have a long 43-yard rush to kind of inflate the average there, but gotta watch that. So I'm sure Nick Bolton and company will watch that, but Derek Carr scrambles, Josh Jacobs, and then of course, Davante Adams. Do what you can to contain that man. He went off, 9 receptions, 100 yards. No TDs though, but you got to keep an eye on Davante Adams. Now that Hunter Renfrow is back as well, there's another target that Derek Carr trusts in the mix, but do what you can to limit those guys. Get pressure on Carr. He folds under pressure like a chair, like a lawn chair in the backyard. So just get pressure on Carr. Do what you can. Spags is probably going to blitz him up. Use L'Jarius Sneed. You know, he has a lot of sacks, maybe 3 this season. So use that man. And let's get some pressure on Carr. We should be good to go as far as the defense against the Raiders offense. And then as far as the Chiefs offense, I think just some keys are start out hot, keep it moving. If you can establish the run game like you did against the Bucs, let's freaking go. Because when you get that run game going like that, it's going to open up the passing game. And Mahomes is already throwing it every which way as it is. So I'm going to like that. Now, I hope JuJu can play so they kind of are able to operate at full strength here, but Travis Kelce is going to be around. MVS, Sky, hopefully he gets a little bit more reps. We'll see how CEH is going to be doing, Jerick McKinnon, Isaiah Pacheco. We'll see how all those guys get worked in, but they need to start out hot and put points on the board very quickly. Pedal to the metal. Let's freaking go. This is a important game, even for the Chiefs being 3-1. They need to beat the Raiders and pull ahead in the division even further. So there you go for some keys. Again, I'm not super scared, but they are a good team, especially for being 1-3. I know I troll a lot on this channel, but again, all their losses were by like 1 score. Now, the bright side is we have Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. They've been planning to face the Raiders for a long time. They've had their number. Patrick Mahomes, his numbers are pretty crazy against the Raiders. His numbers are in 8 career games, he's had 2,546 passing yards, 22 TDs, only 3 interceptions, and 37.4 points per game on average against the Raiders. And that is the second highest points per game average for one player to have against a team in a minimum of 5 games. So he certainly had their number. There's a few things going in the Chiefs' favor. An amazing win against the Bucs. They stomped the Raiders last year. I don't believe they're going to overlook them. It's at Arrowhead, and it's Monday night. Arrowhead's going to be freaking loud. So that is a definite advantage for the Chiefs, man. Being at Arrowhead, it's going to be so loud. I think Carr is going to get rattled. He's not too great under pressure. I mean, he's never won a playoff game. So he doesn't do well under pressure. We'll just put it that way. Now, as far as my prediction goes, though, I think this game could be closer than we think. You look at who predicts who to win. Everybody's picking the Chiefs to win. I pray to God it's not another trap game. I don't want that to happen. I do think the Chiefs are going to win, but I do think it could be closer than we really think. So with that being said, I'm going to say Chiefs 31, Raiders 24. My initial thoughts were Chiefs 31, Raiders 21, but I don't know, man. The Raiders are really hungry for a win. If they don't win on Monday night, their playoff chances are very, very slim. I don't know the statistic exactly, but for a team to be 1-4 and somehow be able to make it to the playoffs, the chances are extremely low. So this is basically, again, I've said this earlier, but this is basically a playoff game for the Raiders. They're going to come in. It's a must-win game for them. So I think it's going to be close because of that. They're relatively healthy. Derek Carr has Hunter Renfrow back. Josh Jacobs just came off of a great run game last week, so he's got confidence there. So the Chiefs just need to keep an eye on Crosby, keep an eye on Davante Adams, and get pressure on Derek Carr. Don't let him run around and do all that dumb stuff, and then put up points. Do what the Chiefs do. And I think the Chiefs will come out with the freaking dub. So definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What is your score prediction? What are your keys to victory? Do you agree or disagree with mine? Do you think the game is not going to be nearly as close as I predicted? If so, let me know in the comments down below and let me know why, and we can fight about it down there per usual because I'm here for all the freaking smoke. Make sure to sub, like, all that stuff if you haven't already. And check out this video here, pew, pew, which is a recent rebuttal that I did to Skip Bayless on him talking about only casual fans being impressed with Patrick Mahomes and his wild plays. And it's a flat out lie. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?